in this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat and hand him to somebody else ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things, that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. So that's what I say about tolerance to a certain thing. You can say sometimes you give a shit. There's some and I also have a thing where I say there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's not that I don't give a shit or give a fuck. It's there's some aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck that I don't give a shit or a fuck about. And at any given time, when and where should a rat's ass be given, or a fuck be given, or a shit be given, or even offered? You know what I mean? Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. This time I'm gonna feature, and it's like you're featuring a YouTuber and you wanna use the video to communicate with and send messages to certain fans of that YouTuber, and take maybe a wild guess if they're close enough to having the same attitude as you, as far as why you've been subscribed to them and why you share their shit. Do you know what I mean? I did one the other day about a particular class of YouTuber, and now I'm going to do this one. Yeah, why I subscribe to young RIPPA's channel, and you can endlessly read about RIPPAVERSE and all of that stuff, but I'm not going to go completely into that. It's just shit people know already. But because I'd have a long ass video, and plus I'd have a really long ass rambling video also if, say, I talk at length about any of his topics which he did good videos about. You can get lost in that. You can just do video. This YouTuber, like, along with certain others, you can if you did videos about each of their topics and made videos about just about them, you'd make a lot of videos. And I'm going to try to keep this as short and to the point as possible. And in the video, this will be also why I say about many YouTubers that are worth sharing out of spite. And when the cards are laying down, if anybody, any leftist, whether they're on social media or out there in the world, will try to put words in your mouth and presume that you hate black people, you tell them no. If I was racist or one of them Aryan nations types, I'd be missing out all the fun. I'd be missing out on all the fun sharing black YouTubers that you don't like. You know what I mean? Reminding people of the rule, the leftist that says, claims they champion things like racial justice and say don't hate black people, but yet here's a list of the black people that we allow you to not like and encourage you to not like, and whom you're not allowed to like. So I mean, I'm going into the reasonings why we should pick certain black YouTubers to, out of spite for the leftists, and not just out of spite because they say real good things. You know what I mean? Just like I say about I preached in the intro in this video. I put an intro. I did a video and I use it as an intro for a lot of my videos on this nature. that came from a smart-ass thing I used to say in workplaces and around there. It's a pun about giving a rat's ass. How can you give a rat's ass? Or the rat's ass isn't yours to give. It isn't mine to give. It isn't the white leftists and different people to give. It belongs to the rat. So let the rat keep his ass, meaning live and let live. And the idea about when, where, and how should a rat's ass be offered or given. You know, you have to offer up. If you have to pick up a rat ass first and offer it up before you can give the rat's ass. So there's some aspects of giving a rat's ass or giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's just not always about not giving a rat's ass, not giving a rat's ass or giving a rat's ass or a fuck or a shit. There's certain aspects of giving a rat's ass, giving a fuck, or giving a shit. Certain aspects of that you don't have to give the rat's ass or give the shit about. And that's why you subscribe to certain people. You know, I know this sounds rambling, but it's like a philosophy. And what I'm getting as people who subscribe to people like him are people who, like I said, I looked at Marvel Comics and DC Comics as a kid. I was a big on the classic superheroes, and then I also read Conan the Barbarian and Marvel way before Arnold Schwarzenegger ever made the movie. You know what I mean? And I remember when that was first coming out. So anyway, if I had kids, I would sooner go on eBay and go places and buy the classic comic, looking for some of the original comics to present to my kids if they're still out there and surviving, and buy them to introduce the kids to them, along with, yes, anybody who wants to buy RIPPAVERSE. You know what I mean? I bet DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and Disney and movies has gone completely to shit. You know what I mean? To a point where it's gone. Yeah, I mean, if you subscribe to Young Ripper, you most likely agree that it is actually more fun and less boring to spend your time looking at videos criticizing Disney, Marvel, DC, and Hollywood, rather than wasting your time watching any movies. Yeah, me and my partners, we never watched any real movies in forever. Even before I met her, I basically watched very few movies, except flicking through some channels and being bored. Watched the new Minions movie. That's about it. You know, the pandemic stalled. You know, because you feel like a cartoon. But anyway, if anybody, including me, I don't want to speak up. I don't want to act like I'm speaking for or I'm not putting words in the mouth of any other people who subscribe to him. But I'm guessing that people who subscribe to him, just like myself, are tired of all this shit and tired of the leftist side. Sticking on the TV screen or on YouTube, trying to stick their finger in our faces through YouTube or TV, telling us what we better think, what to think about racial issues and gender issues and the transgender issues. Which I'm going to bring up one of my favorite things that I posted about his thing about gun control that he actually was from his Twitter. About all gun control being wrong, right, and you're not obligated to coddle anybody's ass just to make them feel better like they're doing something. Well, I believe that saying isn't just about gun control. My version of the belief in what he's saying there ain't just about gun control. That's only part of it. For example, him and all the people who talked about the gender issues, you know, I don't want to go on and on. Like I said, you can do a whole video just on his take on a particular thing. But I'll bring the gender issue and that swimmer issue on there, or anything that somebody that they decide they want to be a girl, they were a dude, or vice versa. And I'm going to put in parentheses too. For one, I don't give a shit what people do if that's what they want to do. Just don't force it down my throat. And some other people that subscribe to him are like the same way, right? That's what you want to do. Don't go on TikTok. Don't go on social media, TV, and force it down our throats and tell us what to think about it. And me, along with whoever else subscribed to them, not to speak for them or put words in their mouth. I mean, I, for one, also believe that if they want to be a certain way, fine, right? But, and plus, I am a person who don't believe in going on social media looking to harass them, or anything, or be accused of that, or going to cause trouble or to antagonize them. But I also believe in not doing anything or threatening anything on social media, or wishing death on anybody that they identifies as another gender. Nothing's against the law. But I believe that's not good enough for some of these people. And me, just like other people subscribe to him and other channels, I also believe in, like I said, not doing anything or saying anything that's against the law. But I am also not required or obligated in any way, shape, or form to take any time out of my personal life to go look for and coddle their asses. I'm not going to waste my lunch break doing anything against law, threatening to murder them, nor do I believe in wasting my lunch break going on social media where they hang out and go harass them or troll them either. But yet, I am very comfortable looking at videos criticizing them, which you have a right to free speech, like says you don't go looking for and harass them. As long as you're don't do nothing against the law. That's all I'm required to do. Yeah, I'm not going to do any, but put it this way, I'm not going to waste my breath doing or saying anything that's against the law or looking for these transgender or whatever the hell, looking for any of them to harass. But I'm not required or obligated or have anybody telling me or dictating to me or requiring me to take any time out of my personal life to go look for any of them to coddle any of their asses either, or read any of their silly books or whatever. If I had a choice between that, maybe taking an hour of that and reading one of their silly books, or go and looking to coddle them or join their protests, if I had a choice between that and an hour of watching paint dry, looks to me like a guy will be spending a fun-filled hour with a can of Sherwin-Williams or some other kind of brand paint, painted on something and watching it dry and be entertained as hell and be given it an Emmy award, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like a lot of us, we don't care per se, but when people start going on places thinking that they got the whole world by the balls, and a certain party thinks that the whole world revolves around them, when say, yeah, let me identify as the other gender, leave me alone, when it goes beyond that, when it goes beyond letting these people say, okay, I was a guy, now I identify as a girl, leave me alone, if it goes beyond that and saying that I have to coddle you and I have to take some time out of my personal life or whatever the hell, no, not happening, you know what I mean? Or anything like, say, racial issues. A cop does something and some narcissistic people from that group decides to turn it into a religion, go on Good Morning America, like they did back in 2020, and tell people that they got to read their silly books to prove saying you're not racist is good enough. And no, you got to prove that you're not racist by, you got to buy and read our silly books, go to our seminars, go to our gatherings, protests, or whatever. Go to our seminars to have us teach you. And saying that you have friends and coworkers that are black that got respect for you, that doesn't matter, they don't want to hear that. It's like, shit, I had friends that were bosses over me in places and when I work for charities that don't do that shit, you know what I mean? And I preached that, like, for example, you're somewhere in a workplace, both black and white people, yeah. You got people that say, when I worked in factories, different places, and you win a particular people over that happen to be black because you make their job easier and not harder, and you get somebody else that's actually black that just comes in there and only been in there 2 days and tries to be a shit starter and thinks that the people that you want over, that your friends that are black, have to listen to his nonsense. That they're required to listen to his nonsense, his shit starter nonsense, because he's black and the other one's black. You gotta listen to him. Nope. Hey, a lot of black friends and black co-workers have their own minds. They didn't fall for that shit. I did a whole video on that shit like a long time ago, preaching that. I'm preaching that I did preaching regarding that being a hole in the leftist philosophy there, the white leftist philosophy, that you could have people that are black that have respect for you because you make their job easier. Then you get somebody else that's black that's also a shit starter, which tries to turn these other people black against you, and you do your thing well. These people that are black, they're your friends. They're not born yesterday. They're not stupid. And I actually had people on the video, I shit you not, under anonymity mostly, comment on the video and say that's what drugs do to you. And I was like, oh really, that's what drugs do to me? Give me a free thinking mind and allow me to choose my own heroes that happen to be black and my own artists that happen to be black or whatever the hell, and choose my own philosophies shared by both white and black and not yours. Oh geez, I didn't know that I actually needed drugs to actually have that kind of philosophy. I always thought that drugs kind of did the opposite of that. There's a lot of drugs that'll make people really fly off the handle. When you point out one thing and whether verbally or violently attack you, that's true. But then a lot of drugs make people turn free-thinking people, keep people from being free-thinking and turn them into zombies too. So a lot of people want that shit too. You can argue that. You can argue what drugs do to people both ways. Yeah. Yeah, the white leftist actually making a comment like that, or like a pot calling the kettle black, because they advocate the free use of all drugs, and some of them, there's a demographic of them that were in the protests, and they're on the leftist side. Not all of them, but a nice chunk of them that happen to be white and be crackheads, and on the white leftist philosophy, do all their drugs and all that damn shit, right? And will get mad and fly off the handle or interrupt you when you talk, or get all shit crazy when you point out one thing to them. Hey, I had a cousin that was like that. I know. So yeah, drugs will make you get mad when you. A certain person on drugs will get mad and scream at you, fly off the handle when you point something out, and they'll also make you into a zombie too. So when somebody would say that, say you're on drugs because you're free thinking on racial issues, they're probably, them and their people are the ones on all the drugs. You know what I mean? You get the people that were the white leftists that were into all the protests, that all white people were scum, all white people were racist, and tell you that anybody that's black that doesn't support their philosophy is also scum. Yeah, the Mr. and Miss, we tell you how not to be racist and how not to hate black people, but they'll give you a list of black. They'll give you these same people that are champions against racism will also say, okay, yeah, don't be racist, and this is how they're teaching. We want to teach you how to not be racist. At the same time, they'll say, oh, here's a list of black YouTubers and black preachers or whatever that don't fit our philosophy that you're allowed to hate. which, oh yeah, oh no, that ain't racism either. You know, if you hate somebody that's black that doesn't go for any of that kind of take on racism, point that out to them. They'll talk over top of you. If you meet them in the real world, they'll talk over top of you, get mad. You know how that is. You know what I mean? And they're no different than the other narcissistic pulpit preachers out there. You know, you got some. I believe everybody, both black and white, if you want to be a Christian or whatever, they all need some kind of one white preacher, one black preacher, one white preacher to look up to. But then there's also the thing that most of them care about buying themselves fancy airplanes and lavish houses and making money and telling you and me and other decent black people how to live our lives. The leftists will talk against, okay, the preacher, right, for their reasons. And then there's some other liberal ones out there that are preachers that will side with them, but that's another story. But the leftist version of questioning the overpaid narcissistic preacher is different than some of our reasons, you know what I mean, too. Some of us will admit, oh, you want to be religious, every person that's black needs somebody that's a black preacher to look up to, a white preacher to look up to, and then each of one of them maybe needs a preacher of the other race to look up to, and less of the preacher, both black and white, that all he cares about is flying a fancy airplane and enriching himself. Yeah, we all know that. Well, anyway, these people are another form of preacher. Even though a lot of these people, what I'm getting at before rambling is, like a lot of other YouTubers saying that we know damn well, a lot of them don't like religion or acknowledge any other kind of God or any kind of a thing like that, or religion or anything, but yet they have a dogma. These people think they're gods, and then say how it fits into things like comics, how they're putting in everybody has to be, now you have to have somebody gay in the you have to have somebody gay in the comics now and all that, and just change the whole character instead of just having their own comic series or something. Like I said, it's not about being tolerant anymore. It's about a new dogma or whatever, and it's gone far beyond what I said earlier in this video that I regard and some of you regard as considered good enough. Say because somebody's gay or somebody's this or that or transgender, if that's what they choose to be. It went beyond something like we think, hey, some of us don't do anything or advocate doing anything that's against the law, whether on social media or out there in a real world, threatening on social media or threatening out there in a real world or stuff that's against the law. We don't do that. But that's not good enough. Some of these ones, I think they want to be the, the center of attention. It's not good enough to just be tolerant and do things not against the law. You got to subscribe to their new dogma. And they think the world revolves around them. And if you don't agree that the world revolves around them, they think the world revolves around them. And if you don't agree with them and you don't have the desire to take time in your personal life to coddle them and be an activist in their behalf, say live your life or whatever, they think you're scum, that you should be canceled. They'll even wish death on you, and say hateful things on TikTok. And really, if you watch videos from a couple other YouTubers that specialize in there, like what's his name? That guy Odin's Men, who features a lot of them. That these ones on TikTok, say a lot of rotten things about the rest of us that don't worship them. It's okay for them to do that. Oh no, they're not prejudiced or bigoted or anything, but they're allowed to be prejudiced against anybody that doesn't worship them, anybody that doesn't coddle them, or whatever the hell. I mean, sounds like rambling, but these are the topics that this guy, along with his success in his stuff, he does. Apart from the success, or along with the success of the stuff that he does that you read about him, did numerous topics on YouTube. And the point of my rambling here is that this is stuff that if you look at any of his stuff on the channel, you're subscribing to what I am rambling about. That's basically what it is, and it gives me my point in the rambling is that I can just put forth what maybe you guys already know, probably early in the video, what I said earlier, that were the bottom line being, along with subscribing to decent black YouTubers and all that, which those people don't like, and they don't like you and me talking about it either, so they don't like you or me talking about it in a video. But the whole point to it is you want to call bullshit on things that should be called bullshit on, and you want to support free-thinking individuals out there, and commend free-thinking individuals out there who also subscribe to the channels of free-thinking individuals who point out all the bullshit in the world. That's just about it, you know. Other than that, yeah, I can go on and on about that, but I won't. I think that's about it. But like I said, the final reminder when I sign off this video, if you got this far, is just like I said in the beginning of it. We choose these people whom we subscribe to and look at their stuff, because some of us have the attitude that, yeah, we're tolerant, yeah. People say we're not tolerant according to their standards, but we're tolerant. We don't do nothing or say nothing that's against the law. Let somebody be what they want to be. But at the same time, you believe that, but you're also not obligated to take any time out of your personal life to coddle their asses or kiss their asses or worship their asses. The only obligations you have is to not do anything that's against the law. You're not obligated, not only you're not obligated to coddle their asses or whatever, or look for any people to coddle and take your personal life and do it, you're also obligated to live your own life. That's the only thing you're obligated to do. The only thing you're obligated other than that is just not do anything that's against the law, and let people be who they want to. And if that ain't good enough and they want you to kiss their ass and coddle their asses and demand any part of your personal life, or demand that you change your whole language, your whole attitude, and your whole everything about yourself, then not happening, you know what I mean? So